Good evening and welcome to TVB News. U.S. President Donald Trump said the United States and China have finalized a trade agreement on Wednesday, but did not share further details. In Beijing, the Ministry of Commerce noted both parties have taken further steps to confirm the details of the framework in recent days, adding that China will conduct permit application work for rare earth exports in accordance with the law. This, as Washington said, it would take down several countermeasures against China. U.S. President Donald Trump announced the latest development in Sino-American trade relations while attending an event at the White House on Thursday.
Everybody wants to make a deal and have a part of it. Remember a few months ago, the press was saying, do you really have anybody of any interest? Well, we just signed with China yesterday. In the China deal, we're starting to open up China, things that never really could have happened. And the relationship with every country has been very good.
But Trump did not reveal any further details. Speaking with Bloomberg News, U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick noted the deal involved China supplying rare earth minerals to the U.S., adding that Washington will take down several countermeasures once the arrangement is implemented. In Beijing, the Ministry of Commerce said both parties have maintained close communication after the trade talks in London earlier this month. It added that the government will continue to conduct permit application work for rare earth exports in accordance with the law. Foreign Affairs Ministry spokesperson Guo Jiakun said China looks forward to further developing Sino-American trade ties and stressed the importance of common understanding, cooperation, and healthy dialogue. Currently, China has 90% of the world's capacity for processing rare earth minerals. In April this year, China restricted rare earth exports after Trump announced a 145% tariff on Beijing. The U.S. president subsequently announced China will relax such rare earth restrictions during bilateral trade talks in London this month. But the Wall Street Journal cited sources that said Beijing will only restore rare earth exports to the U.S. for half a year. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres told the General Assembly that the UN Charter is not an a la carte menu from which to pick and choose. The meeting, held to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the signing of the UN Charter, was a moment that Guterres used to stress the importance of the world body and address assaults on the purposes and principles.
The Charter has given us the tools to change destinies, save lives, and deliver hope to the most desperate corners of the world. And we can draw a direct line from the creation of the United Nations and the prevention of a third world war. Today we see assaults on the purposes and principles of the UN Charter like never before. On and on we see an all too familiar pattern. It is not an a la carte menu. It is the bedrock of international relations. We cannot and must not normalize violations of its most basic principles.
A man convicted of murder for killing and dismembering 9 people in his apartment near Tokyo was executed today, Japan's Justice Ministry said. Takehiro Shiraishi, known as the Twitter Killer, was sentenced to death in 2020 for the killings in 2017 of the 9 victims, most of whom had posted suicidal thoughts on social media. Police arrested him later that year after finding the bodies of 8 teenage girls and women, as well as 1 man, in a cold storage cases in his apartment. Investigators said Shiraishi approached the victims via Twitter, offering to assist them with their suicidal wishes. He killed the 3 teenage girls and 5 women after raping them. He also killed the boyfriend of one of the women to silence him. Shiraishi was hanged at the Tokyo detention house in secrecy. A man and a woman were each sentenced to 6 months in jail after they were found guilty of conspiring to help the ex-husband of murdered socialite Abby Choi in his attempted escape. The case was heard at the Kowloon City Court. 41-year-old Lam Shun and 29-year-old Irene Poon were earlier remanded in custody. The incident took place in February 2023 when Kwang Kong-chi, the ex-husband of Abby Choi, attempted to flee from Tongcheng via speedboat after her murder. The pair were arrested during the subsequent month on suspicion of assisting Kwang's failed escape. Magistrate Chan Chi-fai said during sentencing that communication records show that the pair must have known the route of the escape vessel and stressed imprisonment is necessary. A man of Southeast Asian descent was arrested after he reportedly robbed a convenience store in Hongshui-Q and then stole a taxi. This was where the robbery happened. Police said the suspect wore black clothes and covered his face using a black trash bag. The arrestee was suspected of threatening the female store staff with a knife before robbing cash amounting to $1,550 and 7 packs of cigarettes. He fled the scene by hailing a taxi. Then he allegedly kicked the driver out of the vehicle and sped off. Police caught the 40-year-old suspect in Shahachun in Yunlong. Officers said the man does not have a driving license. Zheng Yanxiong, the former director of Beijing's liaison office in Hong Kong, has been appointed deputy director of the Education, Science, Culture, and Health Committee of the National People's Congress. Zheng left his post as director of the liaison office at the end of last month, and authorities did not announce his next move at that time. At the 16th meeting of the Standing Committee of the National People's Congress, Zheng was appointed to his new post after a vote. Zheng Yanxiong, 61, came to Hong Kong in 2020 and served as the first director of the National Security Office in Hong Kong. He then served as director of the liaison office from January 2023. Welcome back. In the U.S., police are investigating a break-in at a home reportedly owned by superstar Brad Pitt. The Los Angeles Police Department confirmed they responded to a break-in Wednesday night in the Los Feliz neighborhood of Los Angeles. 3 suspects broke into the residence through the front window, ransacked the home, and fled with miscellaneous property, a police spokesman said. Pitt was out of the country at the time on a promotional tour for his latest film. Pitt reportedly bought the home for $5.5 million in April 2023. The Vatican Museums on Thursday unveiled the last and most important of the restored Raphael rooms, the fresco reception rooms of the Apostolic Palace, after 10 years of restoration work. The decade-long project to clean and restore the largest of the 4 Raphael rooms uncovered a novel mural painting technique that the superstar Renaissance painter and architect Raphael Sanzio began but never completed. Raphael used oil paint directly on the wall and arranged a grid of nails embedded into the walls to hold in place the resin surface onto which he painted. Vatican Museums officials recounted the discoveries in inaugurating the hall known as the Room of Constantine, after the last scaffolding came down. The room was painted by Raphael and his students starting in the first quarter century of the 1500s. Nearly a quarter of Shanghai's population is Tibetan. Their culture, art, and architecture embody centuries of Han Chinese-Tibetan cultural blending. TVB News continues our series on Qinghai as Jacqueline reports from the province's grandest Tibetan Buddhist monastery and Tanka art hub.
Qinghai's Kumbu Monastery, also called Tara Temple, is where Tibetan Buddhism's Galu tradition began as the birthplace of its founder, Tsongkhapa. Both a Buddhist pilgrimage site and a nationally protected cultural relic, the site was built during the Ming Dynasty as solitary pagodas before evolving into a sprawling complex of temples and halls. Its design is where the Han Chinese style of upturned eaves and swooping rooftops meets Tibetan architectural structures. This tourist from Guangzhou said her 10-day trip here has helped ease her restlessness. This Tibetan man from Sichuan said he is taking a pilgrimage encompassing holy sites across the Qinghai Tibet Plateau in memory of his late grandmother. Kumbu Monastery, which has undergone continuous expansion over the past 400 years, also shares deep connection with Hong Kong. Its main gate, built in 1992, was a gift made possible by a $3 million donation by Sir Run Shaw, who has also supported schools and hospitals across Qinghai. Tibetan Buddhist artistry also thrives in Qinghai's Tanka paintings known as Liaison. The pigments are ground from precious materials including gold, silver, and malachite, which can stand the test of time. To preserve this intangible heritage, local authorities have encouraged Liaison painters to teach the craft across schools. breaking the traditions of passing the skills to men or monks only. One apprentice is Miss Hu from Zhejiang, who grew up in a Buddhist family and spends months here every year.
心很静。
She said every stroke cleanses the soul, almost like a form of meditation. This Regong art school also scouts talented herders in nearby villages, hoping to unleash their potential and lift them out of poverty.
我们听不见外面的声音。
This Tibetan apprentice cannot hear or speak, but told us using sign language that his deafness brings focus and he can paint undisturbed by outside noise. The pigments used in Tanka art are traditionally hand-ground by the artists themselves. The painters believe the process requires a very calm mindset and steady pressure, otherwise the colors would be altered. Jackie Lin, TVB News, Qinghai.
A Brazilian-style carnival called Extravaganza When Brazil Meets Hong Kong was launched in Central today. Financial Secretary Paul Chan was at the opening ceremony this morning. He said he is looking forward to strengthening the city's role as Asia's events capital by hosting more international mega events. Meanwhile, Hervelto de Matos, Deputy Consul General of Brazil in Hong Kong, said he hopes the carnival can showcase Brazilian attractions. Samantha Lee reports from Central.
A samba dance performed by young girls and plenty of Brazilian snacks, such as beef skewers with pepper, onion, and pineapple, and also chicken wings flavored in tempero baiano. Brazilian cocktails such as caipirinha are also featured in the spectacle, which is running from Friday to Sunday. Not only can visitors enjoy Brazilian food, music, and shows, they can also try out festive samba outfits and face painting. The organizers said they expect to see around 8,000 visitors per day.
Coming together and showing harmony. And I think that's what makes it the special energy of the carnival radiating in the world. Coming together across this whole spectrum of society in joy and energy and harmony. And that's what we felt in doing our activations also in Hong Kong.
2, 3. The opening ceremony was attended by Financial Secretary Paul Chan, who said he hopes to host more international mega events at the Kai Tak Sports Park.
We are welcoming a number of top-class football teams here. I certainly hope that we can host the Brazilian national football team sometime soon.
And Hervelto de Matos, Deputy Consul General of Brazil in Hong Kong, said the Brazilian national team would love to play in the city.
We appreciate it. I think it's a very good idea, and we should all work together to make sure it can happen in the future. I'm sure it's possible.
He also believes the festival can showcase Brazilian culture and benefit tourism at the same time. Members of the public can visit the 3-day event for free from 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. Samantha Lee, TVB News.
And that's the news. Thanks for watching.